everyone, and welcome back to Prime Wealth. We're so glad you're joining us today.
Absolutely. Today we're diving into something that's becoming more and more popular in personal finance circles.
Yeah, we're talking about car rental apps and peer-to-peer sharing. It's a fascinating way to not only save money, but also potentially earn some extra cash on the side.
Exactly. You might have heard of platforms like Turo or Getaround, where individuals can rent out their vehicles to others. It's a win-win for both sides if done right.
Right. And we'll cover how these apps work, the pros and cons of getting involved, and some tips for making the most of it if you decide it's for you.
Plus, we'll discuss the financial implications, like insurance and how to price your rental so you're covered and maximize your earnings.
There's a lot to unpack here, and whether you own a car or not, there are definitely insights that can help you think about your finances differently.
So if you're curious about how to tap into this growing trend and what it could mean for your financial future, stick around.
Let's get started and explore the world of car rental apps. Alex, with so many people over 40 starting to think about retirement, the way we generate income is really shifting, right?
Absolutely, Jordan. It's becoming increasingly important for folks to look beyond traditional income sources. And that's where car rental apps come in.
Right. It's a whole new world with peer-to-peer sharing. It's interesting because many people in their 40s and 50s might think, I don't have time for that. Or, is it worth the hassle? But the reality is, it can be a great way to supplement income.
Exactly. A lot of people might not realize that these car rental services can provide a significant financial boost. For instance, let's say someone has a car they don't use every day. They could rent it out on a platform like Turo or Getaround.
Yeah, I've heard stories of people making hundreds of dollars a month just from renting their cars out occasionally.
Right. And when you consider inflation and the rising cost of living, that extra cash flow can help cover expenses or even contribute to retirement savings.
It's fascinating how something as simple as sharing your car can play a role in long-term financial security.
It really can. Plus, the flexibility of these platforms is appealing. For people over 40, especially those who might be looking at retirement timelines, having an extra income stream can provide a safety net.
Not to mention, many are looking to downsize or simplify their lives at this stage. Renting out a car can be a way to keep a vehicle without the financial burden of owning one outright.
Exactly. And it's not just about the money, it's about feeling secure and having options. As people approach retirement age, the emotional side of financial security becomes more pronounced.
For sure, there's this anxiety around not having enough saved up, or what if expenses pop up unexpectedly?
And that's where diversifying income sources can really alleviate some of that stress. A recent survey showed that over 60% of adults aged 40 and up express concerns about having enough retirement savings.
Wow, that's a big number. So by using car rental apps, they can not only make money, but also gain some peace of mind.
Right. And think about it. With the gig economy booming, there are more opportunities than ever. People can find ways to earn extra income that fits their lifestyle.
I've even seen people who are retired using car rental apps as a fun hobby, turning it into a little side business.
That's a great point. It can be a way to stay engaged and active while also making some cash. Plus, it encourages social interaction, which is important as we age.
Definitely. And I think it's essential to highlight how easy it can be to get started. Many of these platforms have user-friendly apps that guide you through the process.
Right. You can set your availability, determine your rates, and even connect with renters directly. It's designed to be straightforward.
And for those who might be hesitant, they could start small. Maybe rent out their car just a few times a month to see how it goes.
Exactly. Start with the trial period. See how it fits into their lives without overwhelming themselves.
Plus, with the rise of electric and hybrid vehicles, there's also a growing demand for eco-friendly options.
That's a great point, Jordan. People are becoming more environmentally conscious, and offering a green option could attract more renters.
So it's not just about making money, but also tapping into a market that aligns with values.
Absolutely. It's a win-win. And it's important to remember that this isn't just a financial decision. It's about lifestyle and community engagement, too.
Right, and as people start to think about their legacy, earning money through sharing their resources can be a way to contribute positively to their communities.
Well said. It fosters a sense of connection, And with technology making it easier to share resources, it's a perfect fit for a lot of people over 40 who are looking for new ways to adapt.
Plus, it's worth noting how car rental apps can help with those unexpected expenses. Life can throw curveballs, and having that extra income can make a big difference.
Definitely. Whether it's a medical expense or a home repair, having that cushion can alleviate a lot of stress.
And for those who might be worried about wear and tear on their vehicle, many platforms offer insurance and guarantees, which can provide peace of mind.
Exactly. That's a crucial factor. It mitigates some of the risks associated with renting out your vehicle.
So it sounds like this could be a really viable option for many people.
It truly can be, and it encourages a proactive approach to financial health.
So what are some practical steps someone might take if they're interested in trying out these car rental apps?
Well, first, they should assess whether they have a vehicle that they're comfortable renting out. It's crucial to consider the car's condition and market demand for similar vehicles in their area.
Right, and then they could research different platforms to see which one aligns with their needs.
Exactly. Each platform has its own set of rules, fees, and user experiences, so it's important to find a good fit.
And don't forget about setting the right price. It's a balance between being competitive and making sure it's worth their time.
That's key. They might want to take a look at what others are charging for similar vehicles in their neighborhood.
And once they're ready, it's all about creating a great listing that highlights the car's features and benefits.
Definitely. Clear photos and an engaging description can make all the difference in attracting potential renters.
Sounds like a solid plan. So those are some immediate steps you can take. Now, let's bring everything together.
So when we think about getting into car rental apps, a good first step is to really understand the market. I mean, you might be wondering, how does peer-to-peer sharing actually work, right?
Exactly. So it's all about connecting people who need a car with those who have one available. And it's not just about the money. It's about convenience, too.
Right. So the first thing I'd recommend is to do some research on the different platforms out there. You've got options like Turo, Getaround, and even HireCar. Each has its own niche and target audience.
Yeah, and I think knowing your local market is key. Some apps might be more popular in urban areas, while others could be thriving in suburban regions. It's worth checking out which ones are most used where you live.
Absolutely. Once you've identified a platform or two to focus on, the next step is to consider what type of vehicle you have. Not all cars will attract renters equally.
Right. For instance, if you have a fuel-efficient sedan, it might appeal to someone looking for a quick trip around town. But if you have a larger SUV or even something unique like a convertible, that could draw in different crowds.
And that uniqueness can often lead to higher rental prices. So think about what makes your car stand out.
Yeah, and then there's the condition of your vehicle. Keeping it clean and well-maintained can make a huge difference in how often it gets rented.
That's a great point. You might want to consider a thorough cleaning and regular maintenance checks before listing your car. Make sure everything's in working order, especially safety features like brakes and lights.
So true. And speaking of listings, let's talk about how to create an attractive profile for your car.
Good idea. Photos are everything. Make sure you take high-quality pictures from multiple angles, both inside and out.
And don't forget to highlight any special features, like a sunroof or advanced safety tech. Those can be big selling points.
Exactly. And when you write your description, be clear and honest about your car's features and any rules you have.
Like mileage limits or whether you allow pets. Setting clear expectations up front can save a lot of back and forth later.
For sure. Also, pricing is crucial. You want to be competitive, but also ensure you're making a profit. Most platforms offer guidance based on similar listings in your area.
That's helpful. And don't be afraid to adjust your pricing based on demand. If you notice your car isn't getting booked, maybe consider lowering the price for a bit.
Yes, and remember to factor in any fees the platform might charge you. They typically take a cut from each rental, so be sure to account for that when setting your price.
Another thing to keep in mind is the availability of your car. You want to make it convenient for renters to pick it up and drop it off.
Right. If you have a flexible schedule, that can really help. But if you're busy, consider setting specific times for availability.
And communication is key. Respond promptly to inquiries and rental requests. The quicker you engage, the more likely you are to secure a booking.
That's a great tip. After all, renters often choose cars based on their interactions with the owner. So being friendly and responsive can make a big difference.
And once you start renting, keeping track of everything is important. I recommend using a simple spreadsheet to log each rental, including dates, earnings, and any expenses related to maintenance or cleaning.
That's so smart. It helps you see your profitability over time and understand your car's wear and tear.
Plus, when tax season rolls around, having all that organized will save you a lot of headaches.
Exactly. And speaking of taxes, remember to check if you're required to report rental income. It varies by location, but it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, and don't forget about insurance. Most platforms offer insurance options for both the car owner and the renter. Make sure to read the fine print to know what's covered.
Right. You want to ensure you're protected in case of accidents or damages. It might be worth it to consult with your own insurance agent too, just to cover all your bases.
And let's not overlook the importance of building a good reputation. Collect reviews and ratings from renters after each transaction. High ratings can lead to more bookings.
Definitely. And if you encounter any issues, handle them gracefully. A good resolution can turn a negative experience into a positive review.
So, as you start this journey, remember these core strategies: researching the market, maintaining your car, creating an attractive listing, and managing your rentals effectively.
Those are solid foundations. Now let's transition into some common pitfalls.
Oh, there are definitely some traps people can fall into when they're just starting out.
Exactly. Little mistakes can turn into big headaches down the line.
So let's dive into those. So, Alex, I think it's really important to talk about the common pitfalls people encounter when they dive into car rental apps and peer-to-peer sharing.
Absolutely, Jordan. While these platforms can offer great benefits, there are definitely some mistakes that can lead to frustrating situations.
Right, like, what do you think is one of the biggest pitfalls?
Well, one major issue is not doing enough research on the rental terms. A lot of people jump in without reading the fine print.
That's so true. I mean, I've heard stories about folks who assumed they could return the car at any time, but then they found out there were strict time limits, or worse, extra fees for late returns.
Exactly, and sometimes people don't realize they're responsible for any damages, even if they didn't cause them.
Oh, that's a big one. Imagine picking up a car, and it looks fine, but then you return it and get charged for existing damage.
Yes, and that's where taking pictures before and after the rental can really save you. It's a simple step that many overlook, but it can protect you from unnecessary charges.
So it's basically about being proactive, right?
Exactly. Another common mistake is underestimating the cost of insurance. Some people think they're covered under their own car insurance or credit cards, but they don't realize that those policies often don't extend to rentals.
That's a great point. I've seen people caught off guard by that. They think they're saving money by skipping the rental company's insurance, only to find out they're left exposed.
Right, and then you have the added stress of figuring out how to cover unforeseen costs if something goes wrong.
It can really add up. What about the drivers themselves? Are there red flags they should watch for?
Definitely. One of the big signs is if the rental price seems too good to be true. If it's significantly lower than what the competition offers, there might be hidden fees or issues with the car.
That's a classic warning sign. Plus, if the reviews are a mix of great and terrible, that could indicate inconsistent service.
Spot on. And if you notice a lack of communication from the owner before the rental, that can be another red flag.
Yeah, if someone's not responsive, it can lead to problems down the line. You want to feel comfortable and supported during the whole process.
Exactly. And speaking of communication, it's important to set clear expectations with the car owner. Some people might assume certain things about usage, like mileage limits, and that can lead to misunderstandings.
Right. It's a bit like any rental agreement. You need to communicate upfront to avoid conflicts later.
Another danger sign is if the car doesn't seem well maintained. If it's dirty or has warning lights on, you might want to reconsider.
I've heard stories of folks who drove off in cars that had mechanical issues, which could have been avoided with a simple inspection before accepting the vehicle.
Exactly, and even small things like checking the tire pressure can make a difference. If the owner seems uninterested in the car's condition, that's a red flag.
So it really comes down to being vigilant and trusting your instincts, right?
Absolutely. Don't hesitate to ask questions, and if something feels off, it's okay to walk away.
I think that's a powerful takeaway. Listening to your gut can sometimes be the best advice.
For sure. And remember, just because it's a peer-to-peer rental doesn't mean you should lower your expectations for professionalism.
Totally. You deserve a reliable experience, just like you'd expect from a traditional rental service.
And speaking of reliability, let's not forget about the importance of reviews. They can give you a lot of insight into what to expect.
Yeah, but it's important to look for patterns rather than just one-off comments. If several people mention the same issue, that's something to take seriously.
Absolutely. And on the flip side, if you have a good experience, sharing that feedback is just as important.
It contributes to building a trustworthy community, right?
Exactly. It's all about creating a network of reliable renters and owners.
So, to wrap this up, what are some immediate next steps listeners can take to ensure a positive experience with car rental apps?
Well, first, I'd suggest thoroughly researching the rental terms before agreeing to anything. Make sure you're clear on costs, insurance options, and the car's condition.
And definitely take photos before and after your rental. That's a simple yet effective way to protect yourself.
Right, and always communicate openly with the owner. Setting expectations up front can really help smooth the process.
And keep an eye out for warning signs, whether it's pricing that seems off or a lack of responsiveness.
Exactly. Trust your instincts and don't be afraid to walk away if something doesn't feel right.
So those are some immediate steps you can take. Now let's bring everything together. So now that we've covered the basics of car rental apps and how peer-to-peer sharing works, let's talk about some immediate steps listeners can take if they're interested in diving into this.
Absolutely, Jordan. First things first. If you're thinking about renting out your car, the best step is to evaluate your vehicle. Is it in good condition? Does it have a clean title? Making sure your car meets the requirements of these platforms is crucial.
Right, and if it's been a while since you've had your car checked, maybe consider getting a quick inspection. You want to ensure everything's working smoothly for potential renters.
Exactly. And once you've done that, the next step is to choose a platform. There are several options like Turo, Getaround, or HireCar. It can be helpful to read reviews or even talk to other car owners who have used these services.
Yeah, and it might be a good idea to sign up for a couple of platforms to compare. Each one has its own features and fees, so finding what works best for you is key.
Definitely. And when you do sign up, take your time to create a compelling listing. Good photos are essential. Think about taking pictures in well-lit areas, showing all angles of the car, and highlighting any unique features, like a sunroof or great sound system.
Oh, and don't forget to write a clear, detailed description. Potential renters want to know what to expect. Include information about the car's history, mileage limits, and any special rules you might have.
For sure. And pricing is another important factor. Research similar cars in your area to get a sense of what others are charging. You want to be competitive, but also make sure you're not undervaluing your vehicle.
That makes sense. And, once you start getting bookings, it's important to communicate well with your renters. Clear communication can lead to better reviews and repeat customers.
Absolutely. Setting expectations up front, like how to handle fuel or mileage, can really make the experience smooth. Plus, don't hesitate to ask for feedback after the rental.
Speaking of feedback, have you noticed how much people love sharing their experiences? Leveraging that can really help build trust and attract more renters.
Yes, and remember, good reviews can significantly improve your visibility on these platforms, so providing an exceptional experience is always worth it.
Now, for those who might be hesitant about renting out their car, they could start small, right? Maybe consider renting on weekends or during times when you're not using it.
Exactly. You don't have to rent it out full-time right away. Testing the waters can give you a sense of how it works and how comfortable you feel with it.
And if renting out your car isn't quite your thing, how about trying to rent a car instead? You could explore Turo to find a unique vehicle for a weekend getaway or a special occasion.
That's a great point. Renting from someone else can give you first-hand experience of the process and maybe inspire you to give it a go yourself later on.
And think about budgeting for that too. Setting aside a small amount each month for these experiences can make it easier to try something new without breaking the bank.
For sure. And if you're really interested in getting into the peer-to-peer rental space, consider reading some books or articles on the sharing economy. They can provide valuable insights and inspire confidence in your decisions.
I love that idea. And there are a variety of online resources and forums where you can connect with other car owners, share tips, and learn from their experiences.
Engaging with the community can be motivating, and it might help you feel more comfortable as you navigate this new venture.
Yeah, and let's not forget about the importance of insurance. Check what coverage your platform offers and consider if you need additional protection. It's essential to feel secure while renting out your vehicle.
Definitely. Understanding your insurance options is a crucial part of the process. It can help you avoid any unexpected costs down the line.
And speaking of costs, tracking your income and expenses from this venture can provide valuable insights. Using an app or a simple spreadsheet can help you see how much you're really making.
Right. Keeping tabs on that will also help you determine if it's worthwhile in the long run. You want to make sure it's benefiting you financially, after all.
So it sounds like there are a lot of practical things listeners can do to get started, whether they're renting out their car or just renting someone else's.
Exactly. It's all about taking those first steps and feeling empowered to explore this new avenue of income or experience.
And the beauty of it is you can adjust as you go along. If you find that you enjoy it, you can scale up. If not, you can always step back.
Well said. So those are some immediate steps you can take. Now let's bring everything together in our outro.
Well, that was a deep dive into car rental apps and how peer-to-peer sharing can really benefit your finances.
Absolutely, Jordan. So just to recap some key takeaways. First, the flexibility and convenience of these apps can really make car renting a breeze, especially for those who might not need a car full-time.
Right, and then there's the potential for earning extra income by renting out your vehicle when you're not using it. It's like turning your car into a little side hustle.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the savings. Often, using these apps can be cheaper than traditional rental services. Plus, you get to pick the car that fits your needs best.
And, of course, the community aspect. Connecting with people and sharing resources is something that really resonates with many of us over 40, right?
Definitely. It's about making smart choices that enhance both your finances and your lifestyle.
So, if you're considering giving car rental apps a try, remember to do your research, read the reviews, and maybe even start small to see how it fits into your routine.
And, this isn't just about saving money. It's also about embracing new technologies and finding ways to adapt in our changing world.
Yes! So, if you found this episode helpful, make sure to like and subscribe to Prime Wealth, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and share this with someone who's over 40 and might benefit from this information.
And don't miss next time. We'll be diving into ATM ownership, how to find the right placements and profit from it. It's an exciting topic.
Can't wait for that conversation. Thanks for joining us today, everyone.
Until next time.